So hello everybody, welcome back to the Eddie Stobart. So this is issue 58. The last issue I did was 57. Now before I progress, although it's not strictly related to the Eddie Stobart, I need to make a bit of an apology. I'm filming my part works, and when I film in chunks. So I filmed a brand new series which begins next Thursday, so it's next week on the Thursday. It's a brand new series coming out. However, I've recorded 11 magazines in one go, and I've played it back, and the sound quality isn't great, which is why I'm using the headphones. So I apologize. I've added to them, I've done it. I can't really change them anymore. So I apologise. We've got a new series coming out that's beginning with poor sound quality. However, from the next one that I record and all the other videos, after I've done a batch load of Eddie Stobart's, I'm going to be working on the fire truck, and then I'm starting on another series which is coming out at the end of August on a Tuesday. That is quite exciting because it's something. Although I've touched on it before, I've never really done it before, so we'll see how that goes. But the sound quality will be better from about, well, it's about issue 12 on the Thursday of the new series. And I don't want to give away what it is. Many of you may have guessed. As for the Eddie Stobart, I think I'm about 30 or 40 issues behind. So I need to do catch up. So what I'm going to try and do is do 2 issues every video. But I like to start odd number, even number. So this is just going to be issue 58. And then from next week it'll be 59 and 60. And then it'll be 61, 62, 63, 64, so on and so forth. However, we'll look at the individual issues. And obviously if there's a big issue, I can only really do it on its own. Sometimes there might be really short issues. I might get 3 or maybe even 4. A big shout out to John's model making. I apologize, I've not watched your Eddie Stobart videos, because anyone who knows me knows that I like to do the model straight as we go, because then I spot any problems. What I have been doing though is looking at his video list and looking at the length of time it's taken him to do. So sometimes he does two issues in one video, and sometimes he'll do 4, and I can look at the total length of video, and I know that my videos are going to be about 20-25% longer than his, because I waffle on. So obviously if he does 3 or 4 issues in a 20-minute video, I'm confident I could get those done in maybe a half-an-hour video. Anyway, less of the waffle. I apologize, I'm going to have headphones on. I don't really like headphones, they look a bit funny, but you know, it's the way it's going to be. So yeah, let's crack on.
The road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
So welcome to issue 58. This is engine and chassis details. So I have some very important equipment in front of me. I have my cup of coffee, which I need coffee. I have the parts. Now the screwdriver that I've decided is going to be my go-to screwdriver now. You may remember quite a few months ago, a lovely chap called Peter Webster sent me this various bits and bobs, but included a screwdriver set. Now this screwdriver set, it doesn't look much. It looks a little bit cheap. It looks like something maybe you know, you'd get from a budget shop, but it's actually fantastic. I mean, I don't know if this cost £1 or if it cost £100. But I'll be honest with you, I'd pay say £10 or £15 for it. It really is a good screwdriver, and also it's quite bright, so it's easy to spot. So this is going to be my go-to screwdriver, probably from now on. We'll see how it goes. There is another part work that I've not been using this, but we'll see how it goes. So less waffle, more building. So the parts for the engine chassis details. So first of all, we have got, and I'm going to need the chassis, so I need to sort of arrange my parts so that I can get to them. So this is the pipe for the tank, and that's plastic. Piece 58.2. There's some similar looking parts, so I may get them wrong, but 58.2 is tank part 1, and this is 58.3 tank part 2. And I think it's this way because it looks like tank part 2 has holes in it. Right, so piece number 4, that's quite easy to... Oh, that's metal. I wasn't expecting that. This is called cab closing plate. So that's quite nice. That's nicely detailed as well. Parts 5 and 6. Now they look white on the magazine, but I think they're silver. So we've got 58.5 electrical control device, and 6 is the cover for the electrical control device, which as you can see, one's got holes in and one hasn't. And then we're on to 7, which looks like this. Now that looks like it's got a bit of flash on it, but I think that is actually meant to be there. That's the tank cap, right? And then we're looking for a red pipe, 58.8 radiator pipe. That's nicely painted. They do paint the red nice. And then we have got 2 tiny pieces. Right. 58.9 4.5mm long pin. So that looks like it's these. And they look like screws, but they have no screw head. This is not really picking it up, but they're smooth with a little shaped end. I'll show you more detail when I open them. And then we've got DPO6. Do you know, I'm probably not going to describe the screws because we all know what screws are, but DPO6 is 2 1.2 by 4mm PB screws. We've got DDO3, which is 3 2.3 by 4mm screws, PM screws, and 3 2.3 by 4mm PM screws, DDO1. Right, so let's try and crack on with this. So first of all, we need to take the tank part 58.3, which is this piece, and fit it in onto the support bracket. Right, so the chassis is going this way round, so the support bracket 57.3 is here. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit off camera. In fact, I can fix that. There we go, that helps a little bit. Right, so straight away I can see we've got 2 pipes there coming off the chassis. We've got 2 small holes somewhere, so that gives us our orientation. So we can place that in like so, and I can see that the pipes are going to just rest in that small hole there. It's a little bit hard at the moment because the pipe's doing what it wants, but obviously once we've got the top on that will, let me try and get a close up there. So we've placed this pipe there, and then we just put the tank, and then we've just got the 2 pipes there. You see the pipes are trying to do what they want, but once there's a top on this tank, that will be fine. So so then we want to fix the tank into the bracket using 2 PM screws DD01, which is these bad boys. Did I just call them bad boys? I can't believe I'd done that. So, pop the first screw in, and you know me, I'm just going to screw that in just enough to bite, and straight away I can tell I've got the wrong screwdriver head, but that's just enough to get them in there. And we want a bigger screwdriver head, which I don't have. Yes, I do. Do I have? No. Right, so straight away I've run into a problem, which means either I've not got the heads, but that's not a problem because I know I've got some screwdriver heads from when I was building earlier. There we go. So we'll tighten those up. Now I'm not really focused on those pipes because they're just going to pop straight out again. So we just focus on this little tank, and I need to maneuver this around. It's quite tricky, but I need to get a better hold, a bit more natural hold. There we go, that's on there solid. Okay, so the next step then is fit the neck of the tank cap, which is this one, and now I can see why there's a funny shape on it, in the recess of the outer end of the tank. The flat end should be flush against the inside of the tank, so it's going to go that way. You're focusing on this piece there, which is going to slide into there like so. Is it going to go? It doesn't want to go. There we go. So that's what we've ended up with. I've just got the focus as I pulled it away. There we go. A lot of loss of detail because of the colours, which is a bit of a problem. Okay, so make sure that the ends of the two pipes are fitted into the two semicircular recesses in the side of the tank. So that's these pieces. So now, why is that suddenly not? That's suddenly moving. Maybe I didn't screw the screws in tight enough. I think that's what I've done. So I don't know how it passed my little check. Still loose. What I'm doing is I'm holding the mud guard up, so I'm pushing down. That's really interesting. Why is that? It was definitely on nice and tight. Might actually have the wrong. I'm sorry, I'm doing the one thing that I hate seeing on YouTube, which is people changing screwdriver heads during the build. Ah, there we go, that's much better. So we'll just keep screwing that. Maybe the screwdriver head just couldn't get a good enough purchase, and it felt okay. There we go, that's definitely firm now. So we need to make sure these pipes, there's two small notches round about. Sorry, I've got this totally off camera. Right, we've got two small notches round about there. We just want to make sure these pipes are resting nicely in those recesses like so, and that's not going to stay there, it's going to jump out. But the next step is to place the top of the tank, and we can see two recesses there. We're just going to push that in, just make sure. Yeah, this is a push fit connection, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that on gently, but not push it all the way through, all the way down. And I've just got to make sure those pegs line up. So I've got a small gap, as you can see, and then I can make sure I've got these pipes in properly. I can hold them down, and then I can finish pushing that down. And really try and make sure you push where the actual peg is, because otherwise you risk snapping them. But that's in really nice, and those pipes aren't going anywhere now. So the question I have is, do I want to repaint that? I probably will at a later stage to make it all match, but that's not what we're doing at the moment. So we want to turn this chassis around, and we need to take the electrical control device. Let me move the camera right back. I'm trying to get the camera so that it's catching me in a natural position. So this is where we're going to work next. We want to take the electrical control device, piece 5, and we want to turn it upside down, and there's a small hole there. That wants to be upwards, and that is going to go over the 2 screw holes there, like so, which is not going to stay on its own. Voila. Look what that hole is for. That's interesting, isn't it? And then we want to screw that down with 2 DD03 screws, which is these ones. And this may need a change of screwdriver head. Yeah. I think we now want to go back to the one we just had. There we go. So as per usual, I'll screw the first screw in. I don't think that's the right screwdriver head. And then we'll pop the second one in just enough to bite. Yeah, that's definitely not the right screwdriver. Sometimes you want to go a little bit bigger on the screwdriver head. You want to get the width rather than the depth. Right, so they're in. So I'm going to have to turn this so that it's more natural for when I screw it in. I like to work at a little bit of an angle, and it's far easier to bring the part to you rather than you go to the part. But these are really good screws. These are self-tapping screws, so they're actually cutting a thread into the metal as you screw them in. It means it's harder to screw them in, but it means that the screws aren't going to go anywhere once they're screwed in. There we go, that's gone in nice. That piece is not moving, so we'll move that back to match the orientation of the magazine, and that is that part done. So now we're up to step 8, and what we want to do now is we want to place the cover of the electrical control device on the top of 58.5. This is a push fit connection. Now I have no idea if this has an orientation. I suspect it doesn't. No, I really don't think it does. But I've just pushed that on there, and it fits either way. So that's that piece on. On to step 8, and we need the black pipe, tank pipe, which is this one, and fit the lower end into a hole on the front right chassis beam next to the support bracket. Note the orientation. So what we're looking at here is we want the inside of the mudguard there pointing towards us, and we want this black tank, and then the orientation, I can't really tell which way round this goes, so I'm going to have a really good look at the magazine. Yes, right, so one end has a little rounded bit, can you see that there, and this end doesn't. It's this rounded bit that wants to go low, and that's going to go in a hole round about here, and there is the hole. So I've got to be careful because it's resting on the mudguard, and that end is going to go in there. Be careful, this is plastic, you could remove, could snap that little end off. Right, that's gone in nice, and then the other end wants to go into this tank, and there's a hole there if you've done it properly, and it wants to go over these pipes, and that was very easy. It really did want to go there. Okay, and then next we want to take the red pipe 58.8, which is this one, holding it as shown, so I can see there's a flat piece there. And we want the pipe to come outwards, so flat bit at the top, pipe coming out towards you, and that wants to go at the engine side, I'm looking for points to make sure I've got the right orientation. So we've got two little, they look like skids, and the engine there. So this is going to go round about here somewhere. I think it's going to go there. Right, it looks like it's going to go there. Okay, this is not very clear. So it looks like it's going to come up to there somewhere. Sorry, like that. Right, so that is going to plug, this end that I'm holding where my thumb is going to go into that hole. So I can now see, is the other end going to go there? Yes, look, it's there. So it wants to run from this hole there where the little circuit board is, and the other end wants to run to there. So it looks like we'll secure that end with a screw, and this is a push fit. So let's feed this up like so, and that end is roughly in the right position, and then we can then focus on pushing the plug end in. I'm going to call it the plug end. A little bit of fiddling around involved. You may find tweezers easier. You may not. Right, so that plug is in, and then hopefully there'll be a little small amount of swivel. Right, I've got it on the wrong side of that, so it is plastic. We'll do a little bit of bending. I wonder actually if it says that we will fix it with a DP06 screw. So I'm wondering if it might be easier just to skip a little bit ahead, if perhaps we fix that other end with a screw just screwed in halfway, and then leave this end loose, which I now can't. Okay, so bit of a minor cock up. I didn't get this in position, but there we go. That's done. So can you see it there? It's not quite in place, so we'll just carefully maneuver that until we get something that we like. There we go. That's in. So that's that pipe in, and we are going to fix that with a DP06 screw, of which we've got two, and we need a very, very small head for this. So I'm going to go with this tiny head. Perfect. And we are going to very carefully attach that with the screw, and that's gone in very nicely, or has it? That's gone in. That has gone in nice. So that's that pipe detail gone in. Because I've painted my engine, I may have to paint those pieces later, but that's not a problem. And the last thing we need to do now is affix the cab closing plate, and the orientation they have of the magazine is this way, and the cab closing plate looks like that. So this piece is at the back and going down, or is yes, so these two, they're like two screw holes, and that wants to go I can't see it. So it shows you in the magazine to fix it there, and then it says this shows a cab closing plate. Oh, does it actually go on top of that? Yes, it goes. Oh, that's it. That's it. It just, so we've got this black arch piece there, and it's just gone into place like that. The tab on part 58.4 fits into the recesses in the back edge. Yes, so look, there's a little cut out there and two pieces there. There are holes there, and it looks like we'll do something with that in another issue. Right, oh, I see. I didn't look at the rest of the instructions. So we need to take the pins. Now, these are the pins that I didn't want to show you earlier because they're very, very small. I didn't want to lose them. But these are a standard pin. Can you see they're smooth on one end and they've got like a texture on the other? And what that does is as you push the pin in, it cuts into the actual product and it holds it. So what we need is a good pair of pliers. These are probably a little bit overkill, but what we're going to do is we're going to push the smooth end in. I've just dropped that pin. I have just dropped it. There it is. Right, so this is going to be small and fiddly, but we need to pop that small pin in the smooth end. I think it might be easier. Tell you what, let's use tweezers. Now the trouble with tweezers is they may not hold. It could be a little bit slippery, but all I want to do is just pop the pin in just so it's in the first, see, it's in the first bit but it hasn't gone through, and that's not working either. I think I might just pop a little bit of masking tape around my tweezers just to give them a slightly better grip. So I need two tiny pieces of, well, I say tiny, what I'm going to do is piece on like that, and that'll just give me a little bit more grip. Okay, something just fell off my table and I don't know if it was a kitten, a cat, or just where I've just arranged stuff and it's not quite balanced. Right, so you could also, if you've got, like, have you ever seen that plastic shrink wrap you use for electrical cables? That would work very well. Right, so I've got my pin. I pop one end into there like so, and I'm going to push that as far as I can with my finger, and then I'm going to finish it off with the pliers, and that is in. So I don't know if you can see that, guys, but that pin is in. Can I have a focus, please, camera? There we go. So let me try and show you that again. So I'm holding the rough end because I'm pushing the smooth end in first. As you see, it's a very, very tiny piece, and I would say if you don't lose this, you've probably done very well. So there we go. So I'm holding it on the rough end. I'm pushing the smooth end in, pushing it as far as I can. That's actually gone all the way in with my, what was that? Oh, it's my cap's fallen off. Right, so you see there, I've just pushed it in as far as I can with the finger. There's a little tiny bit sticking out. So we'll finish that off with the pliers, and that I'm happy with. So that's interesting because it's not gonna go anywhere. You normally they use a pin for things that might pivot. Right, so this cap fell off, which means that I didn't push it in enough. So I'll keep an eye on that, and if it falls off again, I'll just possibly pop a bit of super glue on. But that is issue 58 complete, and this is the orientation they have. It's just small detail they've done. So we've got a tank there, an electrical bit there, we fixed a pipe there, and then we've popped a pipe underneath there, and then we've put this chassis closing bit on. So that's it, guys. So my camera has just moved. I do apologise. That's obviously what that banging was. So yeah, I do apologise about that. So yeah, that's issue 58 done. Now, given that it's been absolutely ages since I've been done the Eddie Stobart, I'm very happy because I didn't know. I'm going to use the word mojo. It's probably the wrong word to use. When you are building a part work, you kind of develop momentum. Even if you're doing 4 issues in a day and then waiting 4 weeks for the next 4 issues, you kind of get that. You think like the builder, the person who wrote the magazine. You start to understand how they think. Because I've been out of the game for about 6 months, I was worried I lost that. But to be honest with you, I think on a single issue, I think I've got that. So I'm going to try and tackle 59 and 60 in the next issues. And I'll just give you the titles, which is Air Tanks and Connectors and Fitting the Anti-Sway Bar. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye bye.